right, well, welcome back again, day 3.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, day 3. There are a couple, or not a couple, well, yeah, a couple new faces, but I'll introduce myself again. My name is Zachary Waters. I go by Health Coach Z. I'm bringing this information because I feel like there's such a need in our community for it. The first day we talked about the importance of mental health. So the way that I mentally speak is going to dictate how my physical body responds. We talked about how my emotions play a role on my physical body. We talked about, let's say, anxiety. We talk about that a lot because a lot of people have anxiety. When you have anxiety, you'll see your temperature rises up, your heart rate starts to increase, all of these things, but this is because of what's going on in my mind. The anxiety is happening in my mind, causing a response in my body. Yesterday we talked about the healing powers of food, all right, the healing powers of food. We talked about antioxidants, we talked about phytochemicals, and we talked about chlorophyll, all right? I'll just give a quick recap. Antioxidants are vitamin and mineral compounds that help us break down our food in a healthy way. So everyone in here has probably had heartburn before. That's a bad breakdown of my food for my body to respond in that way. But if I eat fruits and vegetables, I don't get heartburn. I don't go through those same situations. The next one that we talked about was phytochemicals, and phyto means life. So these are life chemicals, and they're only found in our fruits and vegetables. Of course, when I'm eating any meat, it's not going to be alive, so it can't have life chemicals in it, if you see what I'm saying. Okay, perfect. And then chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is what makes the plants green, all right? It gives them their color, all right? And that helps us also because the chlorophyll is part of their immune system. So it helps us fight viruses, aid against certain cancers, prevent certain cancers, and there's a lot of benefits to the chlorophyll. So that's why we're talking about yesterday, we need to have a colorful diet. Today we're going to be talking about the benefits of exercising and grounding. Okay, the benefits of exercising and grounding. But yesterday, before we finished, we were talking about how we have codes on our foods. All right, so we're going to talk about that before we go into the exercise and the grounding. What do I mean by the codes on the food? She has some fruit over there. She gave me one of the mangoes, and there's different codes that come on your fruits. So I'll go grab one. Okay, thank you. Grab one for me. So the first thing I want you to write down, you can title it food codes, and then 4-digit codes. All right, this is the first one that we're going to talk about. Is 4-digit codes.
You want an apple too?
Oh, that's fine. If it has something on it. Okay, that's fine. 4-digit codes. All right, everybody got that down? That's perfect because these mangoes are a 4-digit code. Okay, so with the 4-digit code, it says that they are conventionally grown. What does that mean? Pesticides are sprayed. Okay, pesticides are insect and animal repellent. You see what I'm saying? To keep the insects and animals away. What do pesticides do to us? What do pesticides do to us? Okay. There we go. So there's acute and chronic things that can happen to our body. So it could be, I eat this mango, I could be fine. I could eat this mango and then I could have acute problems. Let's say runny nose, I could get sick, maybe a cold, and then it could be severe depending on how much pesticides were sprayed on the land that this was grown in.
Does washing it make a difference?
Yes, sir. Washing it does help, but like we're saying, the best way is try to get organic as possible, and we'll go down to let you know which codes are organic.
So what was the code you found there?
This on it, so it's a 4-digit code, and on here is 4312. Okay, this is the code on here, 4312.
Is it 4312 or any 4-digit code?
Any 4-digit code. That's why I'm saying, yeah, 4-digit code. That's what we're gonna title it. And then you can just put they're conventionally grown, which means they contain pesticides. And we just talked about what the pesticides are.
So
Conventionally grown?
Yes, conventionally.
So you're saying that if the food is being exposed to pesticides, we wash it, are we able to cut it down certain levels so that we don't have that?
That's what we were saying. Clean it best way as possible before you consume it. So If I wanted to just cut this open, I'm gonna clean it first on the outside and then I cut it open. If I wanted to clean a little bit then too, I could. But like we're saying, the closer I get to the organic, the less that I have to do, the better it is. But we're talking, someone called me yesterday, and because I talked about this, they were saying they were in the store and they were seeing organic things, but they were saying the 4-digit code. So you see what I'm saying?
You mean they were in the organic section, but
Yes.
they were still seeing the 4-digit
code. Exactly. That's what.
Is that legal for them to do that?
Now, what I'm gonna say is, I don't know the rules on what it is. For us, we have to pay attention once we know this knowledge. That's what it is. If it says organic, and I know these things now, then I can move into, okay, what type of organic are they saying? Because just because it's saying organic doesn't mean it's thoroughly or all the way organic. So first one is 4-digit codes. We just talked about it causes acute and chronic health problems. We said small as a cold all the way to cancer, depending on how much pesticides was on it. Irritation to my skin and my eyes, okay? A lot of people eat fruits that have pesticides or vegetables that have pesticides, and they have reactions on their skin. So they think that you're allergic to these things, but it's just your reaction to the pesticides that are on what you're eating. And the last one we were talking about, cancer-causing agents are carcinogens, okay? Those are in pesticides, so that's why it could go to that severe of a level. The next one we're gonna talk about are 5-digit codes, all right? 5-digit codes. All right, in parentheses, I want you to put starting with 8, okay? So if it's a 5-digit code and it starts with the number 8. All right, now if it starts with the number 8 and it's a 5-digit code, that means it is GMO, okay? GMO, genetically modified organism, all right? And then it also could be GE, which just means growth enhancement is going into it. So it grows faster, grows bigger, grows stronger. That's how it's gonna be. Well, let me not say stronger, because when you genetically modify it to grow it faster, it's losing a lot of its nutrients, okay? So I could see, it's okay. I'm gonna go in the store, I get some oranges, and they are genetically modified, no seeds. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about right now. When you have no seed in a fruit or a vegetable, yes, it's not natural. So it's still going to give me certain nutrients and energy, but it's not going to be what the natural fruit would do. So right now we're talking about genetically modified organisms. Like we said, number 1 is loss of nutrients. Number 2, again, are allergic reactions. Because the food isn't natural, my body's not having a natural reaction to break the food down. And this last one, I feel like is the biggest one to understand and know, is it is an immunosuppressant. Okay, when you're eating stuff that have GMOs, that means it is suppressing my immune system. My immune system needs to be up, active all the time. If I'm eating a lot of genetically modified organisms, that could be fruits and vegetables or animals. Do you see what I'm saying? Because we were just talking about the other day with the chickens and the cows and the pig, how big everything is now. That's because of the things that they're feeding them, and then those same things are going into us. We got to realize that as well.
So is this 5-digit code could be on meats also, or is it just fruit?
No, this one right now is specifically talking about fruit. When you're looking at your meat, most of the time on the packaging, the plastic, it'll tell you GMO or not. And then also, if you don't see it on the front, check the back of the packaging. Next one is 5-digit codes starting with 9, okay? Last one was starting with 8, this one is starting with 9. This is gonna be the most organic, the closest form to organic that we're gonna find. Most places are gonna have what we talked about first, 4-digit codes, or they're gonna have 5-digit codes starting with 8. That's just how it is right now. If you go in Kroger, Publix, Walmart, the ones that most of us shop at, they're gonna have a lot of genetically modified stuff that we're gonna be eating. Sprouts, some Whole Food stores, you see what I'm saying? If you start to go to those, you'll see more organic things than you would if you go into the regular store. And we know, we talked about it yesterday, it might cost a little bit more, but that's a part of the planning. You see what I'm saying? I need to plan it. If I go in the store and I see, okay, if I wanted to buy this, how much does it cost? Then I build the budget to make myself healthy. Instead of me just saying, it costs too much for me to get this, and this. Make the plan. So that's it for the food codes, all right? So now we're gonna transition into the benefits of exercise. Benefits of exercise. All right, so we're gonna start with what is exercise, all right? What is exercise? Exercise is me consciously and actively moving my body. So some of us could have a job where we are moving a lot, but my mind is not thinking exercise. So it's not engaging the processes of exercise. You see what I'm saying? I could be working 8 hours and I do sweat the same, I do all these different things, but because my mind is not activating the processes of exercise, it's just activating the processes of work. Do you see what I'm saying? Everything is about how my mind and body connect. My mind has to know this is what I'm doing, and then my body responds to what I'm doing. All right.
So you're saying there's a level of intentionality in exercising. When you mentally say I'm going to exercise, so what I'm hearing you say is it duplicated what your body does.
Yes.
Because you normally do it. I'm doing this naturally, but when I do it with an intention behind it, I'm burning more energy.
Yes.
It's
Right.
intentional.
It's intentional. Yes.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Like for example, just think of all the moving and walking around you do all day.
Right. Without thinking about it.
Without thinking about it. But if somebody said, okay, this same 3 miles that you unconsciously do, I want you to go walk 3 miles right now. There's a huge difference already. You see what I'm saying? In my mind right now. I didn't know I was walking 3 miles a day, but now that somebody said, go walk these 3 miles, myself is gonna say, can I walk 3 miles? I'm already doing it. You see what I'm saying? It's just actively changing my mind to the state where my body's going to respond to what I'm telling it, what I'm giving off. Next thing we talked about for exercise yesterday, and we're gonna emphasize today, is heart rate variability. Okay, heart rate variability. And I'm gonna explain what heart rate variability means. Okay, my heart rate, most of us stays at a comfortable pace all day. We stay in air conditioning. We don't run around, so we're stationary most of the time. So my heart rate stays at the same pace. The key to me losing weight is getting my heart rate up and down below that threshold, okay? So it'll be good, we talked about yesterday, for all of us to start off is walking uphill, okay? Walking uphill. It's gonna engage what we talked about LHC, my lower back, my hips, and my core. When that's working, my whole body has to work. My whole body has to work. So just going up the hill is what's going to start our heart rate variability. All right, that's what I need everybody to, that's your prescription from Coach Z. Everybody start practicing walking uphill. And then also, if you can't walk uphill, you will be soon, all right? The first thing you need to do, sitting down in the chair, standing back up, because it's still engaging the same parts of my body that I was saying, but it's less strenuous. Do you see what I'm saying? We start with just sitting down and standing up, and then you build to, okay, I can walk up my driveway or my hill, then take it to, now I'm gonna do the steps in my house. It's like you just slowly progress instead of thinking, I gotta go all out at the beginning. Pace yourself, just pace yourself. Next thing that we're gonna talk about is 6 body systems and the benefits that exercise has on them. 6 body systems. The first one is gonna be the circulatory system. Circulatory system. So what are the benefits of exercise for our circulatory system? Number one is improved heart function. All right, improved heart function. What do I mean by that? If my heart is constantly having to beat high, beat low, beat in the middle, it's going to function better. If I keep it just beating at this slow pace and then one day somebody just scares me bad, I could have a heart attack because my heart isn't used to going to these different ranges. You see what I'm saying? Like I could just, same thing with anxiety can cause a stroke, but it's because my mind and body are staying in a certain place until I take it to that place. When I go to anxiety and I stress and all of these things, it causes negative effects on my body. We talked about this on the day one. But when I go into it with a different perspective and mindset, that's when everything can change for you. That's where it has to start, your mindset. It's gonna improve my heart function. That's number one. Number two is lower my blood pressure. If my heart is functioning better, of course, my blood pressure is gonna be better, all right? That's why the number one prescription for high blood pressure and diabetes is exercise. Just exercise, get your body moving. Try to get it back to its regular state. Next thing is reduced risk of cardiovascular diseases. So we talked about this the other day, heart diseases. My heart has to pump, it has to increase, it has to function properly for me to exercise effectively. Next one, again, this is like we were just saying about diabetes. It increases insulin sensitivity, okay? It increases insulin sensitivity. Why is that important? We gotta realize, how does my body get to type 2 diabetes? Is they used to call it adult onset, but it was because they were saying you could develop it as you get older. They switched the name because now kids are having type 2 diabetes. Why is that happening? Because of the food that we're eating and then the lack of exercise. So it was an accumulation thing before, but now it's happening so much earlier because we're so inactive and we are eating foods that are so high in sugar. That's how you're gonna get type 2 diabetes. You've reached your sugar cap. So then once you start intaking sugar, your body's, like we said, insensitive. It's not responding to it. So you have to take this medicine to balance it out. But all I have to do is get my body back in balance. I don't have to keep taking the medicine to cure the symptoms of this imbalancement, the sugar imbalance.
Now, why do we have the sugar imbalance again?
Because of all the sugar that we intake. So like us, your diet is very different than my diet when I grew up. You see what I'm saying? The type of stuff I got from 0 to 10 compared to what you got 0 to 10, I had to probably have 300 times the amount of sugar.
Okay.
And why are we talking about that? The food yesterday. There's sugar in every single thing. And then my stuff is modified to taste sweeter. You see what I'm saying? I'm adding all these, they're called flavonoids, to make my food taste good. But that's just sugars, different forms of sugars. So that's why we're saying the kids are having diabetes when a second ago it was the adults. That's why they were calling it adult onset. Last one, for the last benefit for the circulatory system is lowers cholesterol. Lowers cholesterol. And then of course, because the body's connected, a lot of these you'll hear in more than one system. The next one is the respiratory system. And that has to do with how I breathe. So number one for respiratory is it strengthens the lungs and the heart. All right, strengthens the lungs and the heart. Exercise also strengthens the respiratory muscles. What do I mean? When I breathe, that has to do with my neck, my chest, and I want to say my middle back, lower back almost. But those muscles are always getting built up when I'm exercising because I have to take these deep breaths. This motion right here is building up the muscles. So you see what I'm saying? In my respiratory system. Next one is going to be improved breathing. the first time you work out, like we said, it's going to be the hardest time that you work out. So it's going to be, oh man, I don't know if I can breathe. I don't know if I can do this tomorrow. It's the first day, and it's going to be the hardest day. After that, it'll be easier because, like we're saying, when my body starts to recognize the activities that I'm going through, then it starts to associate and output that amount of energy. If I'm going to work, like we said, my body's outputting the work energy, work energy, work energy. But if I'm putting out exercise energy, that's going to require more energy. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it improves our breathing. I have to build up a new capacity. We've let our breathing and our, I would say our stamina get this low because we don't do anything. But I shouldn't be walking up the stairs and getting tired. That's insane, but that's because of the low activity that we all have. Next thing, reduces inflammation, all right? This is in the respiratory system. We have a lot of mucus buildup, and that causes inflammation in our respiratory system, all right? We gotta exercise so we get the mucus out, And then of course, if I can breathe better, this is the last point, it improves quality of life, all right, for my respiratory system. If I can breathe better, I can do anything better. As soon as I start feeling like I can't breathe, I wanna quit everything. Next one is going to be the muscular system. All right, so the first thing that we're going to talk about for the muscular system is it slows age-related decreases in muscle mass. All right, so just because we're getting older, we're going to have loss in our muscle mass. All right, the size of our muscle and also our muscle capacity, the strength of our muscles. So the longer that I make myself do these activities, working out, walking even, you see what I'm saying? We're talking about standing up, sitting down, these squats, actively making my mind and my body exercise, it's going to increase my longevity on my life. You see what I'm saying? Because my body, from the point I'm born till the point that I am gone, is going through a cycle of growth and decay. So the only way that I can slow down the decay cycle is me continuing to do growth patterns, if you see what I'm saying. The growth patterns is exercise, eating correctly, getting sunlight, getting sleep, all of these things. We have to keep the growth pattern in set so we don't end up just falling away with the system, falling away with how we eat, the things we pay attention to, the lack of exercise, falling away with those things. Like we said yesterday, it's a process of developing new processes. Next one is, of course, strengthen my muscles. That's for anyone. It doesn't matter your age. If I am exercising, whatever part of my body I'm exercising, that's what's going to be increased, the muscle mass. And then that's another thing too, just like we were talking about food, if I eat too much of anything, it's gonna be poison for my body. Everything has to be balanced. If I just go every single time and I walk and I don't ever change what exercise I do, my body's gonna stop giving off responses to it. Do you see what I'm saying? At the beginning, I was walking and boom, I was losing weight. And then after a while, my body's like, okay, I know how to walk good now. We gotta do something else or I'm going to stay at this weight. I'm gonna stay at this heart rate. I can get comfortable here. That's what it's about. It's like taking your body from this comfortable, cozy situation and saying, now it's time to make you uncomfortable so we can move. Next one is regenerative capacity. We talked about that a second ago. Being able to regenerate what I'm losing. You see what I'm saying? I'm 25 years old. At 28, that's when your body starts to go the opposite direction. You see what I'm saying? It's all up to me after 28, the life that I'm gonna have. It's all up to me. Right. That's hilarious.
We in trouble. This been going on since we was
Hey, went to the cliff and just fell.
We was talking about yesterday, God always covers us when we don't know. So now that you do know, yeah, now that you do know, you gotta get it together. Man. The next one is the digestive system. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about with the digestive system is improved digestion, overall, improved digestion. Why is that? Just like we were saying a second ago, anytime I engage my lower body, my hips and my core, my digestive system has to be moved around. Do you see what I'm saying? When I'm going back to forward, it has to be moved around in different positions. So just by me moving throughout my day, if I just sitting here doing like this, moving my arms up and down, I have to move, I have to get active so my body can move how it's supposed to at the same time. If I'm just sitting down right here, there's certain parts of my body that aren't getting the correct blood flow. So that's why after an hour, 20, 30 minutes, I'm sitting there like, ooh, my legs, you see what I'm saying? That's how my whole body is. I have to make my body move so my body systems can work. Next one is reduce stress on your digestive system. So if you're eating some food and it causes pain in your stomach, this is your stomach letting off stress, telling you like, this is not what we need to eat. This is not a healthy digestion. If my stomach is upset as soon as I eat something, this is not what I need to be eating. It's not good for my body. Then like we were talking about on day 1 too, listen to your spirit. Listen to your spirit. Don't ignore it. You know when you're eating something and you have a thought, man, last time I ate this, this happened to me. And I continue to eat this thing. Why in the world would God help you?
You got term for that. That's right. You got
Right.
term for that.
It's that simple. Why?
He's expecting different
You're knowing and then
Disobedience.
continuing to move in ignorance. So that just means I'm moving to ignore, because I know now. So I'm just ignoring the fact of I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to do it. This is a choice. Next thing is improve gut health. All right, improve gut health. So if I'm sitting around again, I just drink a soda, I ate a cheeseburger and some French fries, that just sitting on my stomach is not going to break down how it's supposed to. Again, just the movement of my body is going to increase how my body works. Okay, me being active is going to increase how my enzymes are breaking down, how my body systems are functioning at a high capacity or a low capacity. Like we're saying, my gut health is important. How do I break down food? Okay, how do I break down food? That's going to be number 1. Talked about yesterday, what I'm intaking, what I'm eating. But then number 2, how am I treating my body physically? Am I just eating this food and expecting a miracle? You see what I'm saying? I'm going to keep eating the same thing and then just expect, oh, God's going to evaporate this weight off of me. Come on, we got to be for real. We got to be for real. Right? Waiting on a miracle. Be honest with ourselves. Next one, of course, this was in the circulatory system, but boost circulation. I need good blood flow in my digestive system to break down the food. All right. Said a second ago, it stimulates the muscles. It boosts our metabolism. All right. Let's say, when I start to, your body is set up on cycles and habits, like we were talking about yesterday. If you eat 8 hours, every 8 hours, that's around 2 meals a day. So boom, I eat 8 hours, I have no workout. My body's not preparing to break down the food anyway besides me sitting here. Do you see what I'm saying? It's saying this is how I'm gonna break down the food. Versus another person, they eat at this point and then they work out. Do you see what I'm saying? They burn some of the energy, they help their body. Do you see what I'm saying? They're helping their body while I'm sitting here aiding bad digestion, aiding bad habits. I'm eating and I'm sitting down, or I'm eating and I'm falling asleep. Do you know what your body's saying when you eat something and fall asleep? For me to really do what I need to do, I have to shut down all these other functions. That's how bad what I just ate is for my body. I'm eating it and I'm saying, I'm falling out. My body's saying, I have to put you to sleep so I can heal you. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not this had this or this had this. My body's shutting me down so it can heal itself. So it can heal itself. My body's set up on a rhythm of what time it goes to sleep and what time it wakes up. So when I'm in the middle of the day and I'm falling out of sleep, what did I eat? What did I eat that's causing this bad breakdown of food where my body's trying to go to sleep so that it can heal?
So that shouldn't your body naturally process the food whether you do anything or not?
Yes. And what have we been doing? We spent that. From 0 to 18, we all looked a certain way, and then after that, we was like, "What's going on with my body?" The body said, "I'm tired
Right.
of doing all of this, and you're not helping me." You see what I'm saying? My body is saying, is giving that response. I'm tired. Now you got an ache and pain.
But does it have a right to do that?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
They
have
say,
the right.
only God can say return to
It does have the right. It does. To tell you, I'm tired of this. Are you going to respond? That's what it said.
So to do the opposite of when you're doing that and you've eaten and you feel like you're tired, you go get a candy bar
To put something. Man, you see what I'm saying? The cycle that you're creating for your body.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'll get some coffee then.
I'm not gonna say no to coffee. Just don't do coffee too much. Like we're saying, everything in moderation, everything balanced. Right now we're eating way more meat than we're eating anything else.
Yeah.
So that's why we have the issues that we have. It's that easy. Once I switch how I'm eating, if right now we're eating 70% meat, 30% fruits and vegetables, let's not even say that, because we'll say 70% meat, 25% vegetables, and 5% fruit, because most of us eat fruit the least. What type of setup is that for myself? You see what I'm saying? Especially after what you know now. I know the information I need to succeed. What I've been doing is not what's going to make my body succeed. But what I'm gonna do now is, do you see what I'm saying? It's never too late, because we talked about yesterday, God created this body. It heals itself. So when I just start the right processes, God is like, I'll do the rest. I'll do the rest. My spirit will do the rest. Like I'm saying, when I'm sleeping, whether I'm awake, it's starting new functions. It's a new process. I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna help my body by working out at some point throughout the day. You see what I'm saying? It's just me making better choices about my lifestyle, creating better habits.
so the gut can be repaired.
Oh yes, for
On
sure.
that 70%, does it matter the type of meat?
For sure, definitely. It does matter the type of meat.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's not my business.
It is. Number one, no pork.
No pork.
Hey, right here, Pastor Ed just gave me the same look yesterday. He gave me the same look yesterday. He said, no pork. The
Same
same.
was saying no red meat.
No, see,
No pork.
now we'll get into it again. We just think about it. I'm not gonna give you any specifics. If the animal that I'm eating cannot sweat,
Ooh.
where are all the toxins in its body going?
Right back into
So, yes. And what am I doing? Ingesting, yes, those same things. I'm ingesting. His whole life he didn't sweat, and he's been getting injected with GMOs so he could be this big in 5 weeks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when we look at it for what it really is, how many of us know somebody with a farm with animals?
Oh, not no.
My brother sold his goats.
Okay, so we have one person in here that knows, 2 people that know someone with a farm. Okay.
Yes.
What does that mean? I don't see these animals that are
broke
being,
it down,
yeah, I don't
right.
see them be grown. I don't see them. I'm just going to the store and saying, that's a big piece of chicken I'm gonna take to the house and make.
Yeah.
But he was made in 4 weeks. From his birth to him being in the store is 4 weeks.
It's steroids.
So what are we, that's right, there we go. The make him big and make him fast.
That's why we are looking like chickens.
That's a great point. He said that's why we're looking like chickens. We're looking crazy. We're looking crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely. The next one is going to be the nervous system. The nervous system. And then too, like we talked about yesterday, I don't want anybody to think I'm saying change everything right now. It's a process. Just start with one thing and slowly start to change how you're eating, slowly start to change how you exercise, slowly start to change your routine, and then you'll slowly start to see your life change. I'm gonna tell a personal story at the end about how you just thinking positive and starting to make these small changes make huge changes in your life.
Mm.
All right. We were saying the nervous system. First thing is neurogenesis. Okay, neurogenesis. Now I can spell that if I need to. N-E-U-R-O, neurogenesis, just like the Bible spells it.
Is it 2 words or 1 word?
It's 1 word. And what does that mean? It boosts the creation of new neurons. All right. What we got to realize about our body is there's a lot of electrical reactions happening. All right. It's not just we're just looking at ourselves and we don't know ourselves all the way through. So I'm just looking at it as this is my physical body. You see what I'm saying? But we got to realize there's a lot of different functions that are going on inside of it. All right. So neurogenesis is making the new neurons. Neurons are sent out to make connections in the body. So when I have a thought, a neuron is connecting with another neuron to make these thoughts happen. For me to move my arms, for me to say these words, I need to have great neuron activity. Do you see what I'm saying? If I don't have great neuron activity in my mind, in my brain, in my whole nervous system, then I'm going to be slow functioning. It's going to be hard for me to focus. You see what I'm saying? All of these different things are going to take place. Next one we're going to talk about is improved sleep and brain function. Okay, if I have more neurons in my mind, it's going to be easier for me to control my mind. So easier for me to go to sleep, easier for me to focus, pay attention, all of these different things that are benefits of the neurogenesis.
Is that what happened with the kids that have ADHD? Their focus is on?
Their focus, yes, the focus is all over the place, and not in a bad way. It's just how it's turned, and it's talking about the ability to pay attention. So my nervous system is out of whack. That's what it's telling me.
Ask it again, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you there.
I was asking, was that neuron activity, does that have something to do with the kids with the ADHD and lack of focus?
Oh, okay.
Or even with adults with lack of
Yeah, for
focus?
sure, 'cause
I've gotten this coffee now that says it helps you to focus. It's a focus-based kind of ingredient, because sometimes I'm not focused.
Okay, yeah, definitely. And then blueberries and bananas, that'll be good for you too.
For neuron.
Yep. We didn't talk about that yesterday because we didn't talk about the brain. We were talking about more of curative properties of the food, but for the brain, yeah, definitely blueberries and bananas are good.
So you're talking about uninterrupted sleep?
Uninterrupted, yes. So like, right now, if you are having trouble sleeping, it's because of my brain activity, what's going on in my brain. So like we're saying, it's either overactivity or not enough activity. So I have to be able to get back to a balanced space where I'm back in control of my thoughts, my mind, and that's really controlling my being.
And this is all neutrons.
Neurons, yes. And this is in the nervous system.
So if you are overly active mentally, it can cause you to be sleep deprived.
Sleep deprived, illness. We talked about yesterday the mindsets we have. Remember, upward of 70% of all illnesses come from our mindset. Do you see what I'm saying? So me having overactive brain activity, anxiety all the time, like we just talked about, my immune system now is going to be depleted. It's going to be low. It's going to be down. So I could, like we said, have a bad mindset. For 3 days, I go into the store, because a lot of people go into the store, so there's a lot in the store. When I go into the store, now I feel sick. But this is just because of the whole week I've been stressing, and now my immune system is weak. Do you see what I'm saying? There's 1,000 people every day that's going in and out of the store that aren't getting sick. So why am I going in and out of the store getting sick? This is because of how my immune system is. Do you see what I'm saying? So that starts with our mind first. We talked about that on day one. It starts with our mind.
But I would comment about, as I've gotten older, I seem like I need to take a nap. And I'll take a nap an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, and still be able to sleep at night. But it seemed like, so much is going on, and like you get to a point where you peak, I say, I'm gonna take a nap because I can.
Yes, right.
If you know what I mean. So
I guess these.
Because I don't get a lot of sleep at all. I mean, it doesn't bother me. I feel like it doesn't bother me, because I still get up at the same time. And I'm talking about maybe I get 4 hours of sleep.
hours of sleep, right? And then that's what we're saying. It's for you because you've made it a habit. You're used to it. But like if we gave your sleep schedule to somebody else in the room, 4 hours, they couldn't be in here right now. You see what I'm saying? So your body's going to adjust. Like he was saying, our body naturally is going to adjust to certain things. But once I make it where I'm only sleeping 4 hours, or now I create the life where I can take a nap in the middle of the day, then my body's gonna just set up to the cycle that I'm creating. Because every time my mind is going and going and going doesn't mean necessarily I'm gonna be sleep deprived. My mind might have to be overactive because I have to do a lot. I have to take care of a lot. Do you see what I'm saying? That could be my mind being overactive. But if it's overactive in a negative frame, that's when my body and my immune system start to respond to the negativity. Next one, like we said, reduce stress and inflammation around the brain. All right. Like we said, there is mucus and there is swelling all over our body. All right. Inflammation, we're going to talk about a little bit later when we talk about grounding. Any disease that they talk about, illness that they talk about that has a itis at the end of it is because of inflammation. Okay. And that can be cured with grounding, and that's what we're going to be talking about in the next section. But inflammation is going to be reduced when I exercise for my nervous system. Like we're saying, if I'm sitting here doing 100 curls the whole time, my muscle is going to start to swell up. You see what I'm saying? And it's going to get overactive until the point I can't curl my arm anymore. That's the same thing with my brain. My brain is working and working and working and working and working. But if I don't ever slow it down or give it a break, just like my heart, you see what I'm saying? We got to get into a balance where it's like, okay, sometimes I am up here with my brain activity. Sometimes I got to be down here and relax. It's like I got to create a good pace so that the growth is natural. If I'm doing this every single day, burning out, my arms by day 3, I'm not going to be able to pick up a napkin. You see what I'm saying? But it's just because of the overactivity
So
of the
relate
muscle.
that, if you don't mind, to the brain. How do you slow your brain down? How do you control how much pressure you put on your brain?
Number one key to this is meditation.
Amen.
Okay.
Meditation. I'm gonna break this down like this. When I pray, that's me talking to God. I'm releasing something. When I'm meditating, that's God talking back to me. So I need to be receiving. I don't need to be saying anything. I just need to be quiet. Do you see what I'm saying? Quiet my mind, quiet my body, quiet my spirit. That's what I have to do. Next thing.
Well, how you
good.
how do you get to your balance? How do you know where your balance is?
What do you mean?
When you're meditating. So in India primarily, they can meditate to the point they can even levitate. And they start meditating, then they start raising themselves up off the ground. So I guess my question: how do we know what the good striking balance is? And I'm going to ask it another way. Maybe in our society there's a good balance that we ought to adhere to. Is that too much?
That's a lot.
The balance is priority. So how long did this man have to meditate for him to get to the point where he could float? This is about his practice. You see what I'm saying? Repetition. That's the same thing. So for myself, when I meditate, it needs to be about repetition. There's going to be, just like any of you guys play sports, if I shot a shot, I know when it's going to go in. If I hit a ball, I know if it's going out of the park. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to create the feeling. Once you get to the feeling of this is the place I need to be, it's already created. Do you see what I'm saying? Because me getting to my balance might be different than how do you get to your balance. You see what I'm saying? I have to find my routine, and you got to find your routine. Some people are sitting down meditating with their legs crossed. Some people are laying on their back. Some people are laying in a submitted position. It's just about my routine on getting to my spot.
I got you. I'm reminded now, just when you said that there was when you get to that peaceful place, you could almost feel like when you could sit in a chair or lay in the bed or whatever, and you feel weightlessness.
Yes.
You have no stress in your life at that point. You can sit here in this chair.
Yes.
And literally don't even feel yourself sitting anymore.
Yes.
That's the balance, I guess.
Yes, I understand what you're saying. Because like you just said, for you, when you have that feeling of lightness, that's your
balance.
That's your balance. You see what I'm saying? For someone else, it might be a little bit different. But that's why it's specific, and we talked about on day one, I gotta know my spirit. I gotta trust my spirit. I gotta have a real relationship with my spirit. Because if I don't, it could be like, I'm listening to this guru talking about this is how I need to meditate, and it's not working for me. It's like, man, it just can't click. What's going on? Because it's not my routine. That's specific to him and people that want to make their routine specific to that routine.
That was it. So preacher was preaching in a revival last night. He was talking about staying focused. And I'm suspecting that he walked on water.
Yes.
So when he was walking on water, he found his
Perfect.
space of weightlessness. He could walk on water until he took his eyes off the focus of Jesus.
There we go. That's exactly what it is. When you find your peace or whatever it is, if you can stay right there and not be distracted and let nothing get in the way
That's exactly what he said.
of this, it's already done. It's already done.
Thank you.
Next one for the nervous system is decreased social anxiety. I heard
Do what?
decreased social
Decreased.
anxiety. Now, why is this? When I'm exercising and I think I look good, I feel good. Do you see what I'm saying? So then what am I'm gonna come out here. What's up, Pastor? Hey, how you doing? You see, that's how I'm coming in the room because I feel good. But if I'm coming in here and I'm like, I don't feel good about myself, I'm gonna sit down right here. They're gonna be like, how you doing today, Zach? I'm doing good. You see what I'm saying? Because this is how my mindset is. Off of me exercising, I get more confidence. Do you see what I'm saying? And also, not even on the point of me looking good. If I tell myself I'm gonna do something and I actually do it, come on, that's the best feeling that you can have. You see what I'm saying? So for me to say, for 3 days this week, I'm gonna work out. Once I do the 3 days, oh my goodness, the feeling that you're gonna have on your insides is one of the best that you're gonna have. But it's just because when you say you're gonna do something, especially when you view it as hard, because nothing is hard. It's just the perspective that we choose. So I'm saying this right here, this activity is hard, whatever I'm trying to do. As soon as I do it, I can do anything. That's my mindset. That's how my body starts to move from the place of, will I ever work out? I don't have the time to work out. All of these different things just are attributed to how is my mindset? Where is my mindset? Next one is improved memory. All right, we talked about this. Improved memory, energy, and focus. All right, improved memory, energy, and focus. It's a benefit on the nervous system. And the last system that we're going to talk about is the immune system. The immune system. First thing that we're going to talk about right here is improved blood and lymph movement. All right, lymph movement. We're talking about the lymph nodes that are in your body. All right, that are basically we'll say like a cleaning system. All right, so if you want, if your dishwasher is not working good, are the dishes going to be clean? No. So if my cleaning system in my body is not okay, how am I going to clean my body? It's the same thing. Try to make the analogies for yourself. See something that can compare. The next thing that we're going to talk about is brief temperature rise. Okay, so what's good for certain bad bacteria and germs in our body is our temperature to rise. Remember we talked about yesterday, when I get sick a lot of the times, I get a what? Fever. So my temperature is rising to get this sickness out of my body. So like I told Pastor Ed yesterday, we were talking about what are the keys if I first start feeling sick. Number 1, fast. Number 2, I need, we're talking about the honey, lemon, and water mix. Breathing it in while it's boiling and then drinking it hot. And then last but not least was exercise. Because if I get my body temperature up and I start to sweat and I start to get this mucus out of my body, then I'm gonna be fine. The problem is, oftentimes we wake up feeling the worst of our sickness. Do you see what I'm saying? Like while we're going through the day, because I'm active and my temperature is at a certain level, my body's fighting it off. But as soon as I go to sleep and my temperature drops, I feel the worst because why? Now the sickness is about to thrive in this lower temperature. Do you see what I'm saying? It's thriving in this lower temperature. So when I bring my temperature up, that's when it has to get out of my body. Do you
That's
see
why
what I'm
babies'
saying?
fever go, that's why babies get sicker at night.
There we go.
We get.
Everybody.
Well, we get sicker.
Yes.
But
You see it now.
Because we slow down, we stop moving, and
Our body temperature drops. We're inactive, if you see what I'm saying. So like you might wake up sweating because what? Your body's trying to do the same
There you
thing. It's
go.
trying to tell you, bro, we gotta sweat. We gotta sweat. You like, man, what's going on? I'm so hot. Oh no. I gotta sweat. And it's like this, do I want to be sick for 5 days or do I want to be sick for 2?
There you go.
It's that simple. I'll be telling my grandma, I'll be like, just become the version of you that's not sick anymore.
There you go.
You already
There you
have the
go.
tools.
That's right.
In 2 days, I'm gonna be healed. So how do I do that in 2 days? This. It's that easy. Now I'm healed. Instead of me wondering when I'm gonna be okay, become the you that is okay. Create the schedule.
The honey and lemon and water, can you add, does adding tea to that hurt it or make it better?
No. You can do that as well, but you want limited amount of sugar. You see what I'm saying? So if your tea packet has a lot of sugar in it, that's what you need to check. Then I'm gonna build up more mucus while I'm getting rid of the mucus that's already built. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's like try to keep it natural as possible, away from the sugar. The honey's gonna have sugar in it, but it's not gonna be the same sugar that's like the processed sugar that's in the packets of tea. And honey has a lot of curative properties too.
And what was the purpose of the lymph node again? You said it was to cleanse our body, so we cleansing the mucus, it goes through the lymph node system?
So cleaning our body all through and through. So it could be my lungs, my heart, all of these things that because they need cleaning just like anything else. I wash my body, my insides need to get cleaned as well. But like we're saying, if I'm the dishwasher example, we'll go back to that. If my dishwasher is not working correctly, will my dishes get cleaned? No. If my immune system is not working correctly, my lymph nodes and how all these things are getting sent through my body and the responses and all these things are not working correctly, there's no way my body's going to get clean. Do you see what I'm saying? So the lymph nodes are part of that system, part of your natural dishwasher. You see what I'm saying? Your organ washer.
The liquid detergent we use is fruits and vegetables.
For the dishes. For the dishes. The next one is reduced stress hormones. So like we're saying, when my body is releasing all of these stress hormones because I'm stressing and I'm having anxiety and I'm fearing in these imaginary situations that we come up with all the time, my immune surveillance starts to decrease. All right, it's called immunosurveillance. What do I mean? My immune system has a surveillance system, just like I have on, you see what I'm saying, on a house or whatever, where I want to surveil. I have the system, all right? So if they're sitting on guard, right? The system is sitting on guard. As soon as you say stress, boom, they get up and they start running through the body. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to figure out, what are we stressing for? What are we stressing for? There's nothing to stress for, but now all these stress hormones are running through my body, right? Boom, I try to calm myself down so they go back home. I stress again. They run out again into my body and they're like, where's the stress? Where's the stress? What do we need to stop? What do we need to heal? There's nothing out here. So what happens to their surveillance? It's the boy who cried wolf. They're gonna sit there and they're gonna be like, until I really see my body's decaying or something's really going on, I'm not gonna move. Because I've created this false sense of stress. So my body's saying, until you really are going through what you are going through, I'm not gonna respond. Your immune system will suppress itself and say, you're doing this to yourself. And then you'll be sick and it'll be like,
You're on your own.
Just like
Deal
when the
with it.
kids, just like when the kids see, mommy, 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 why you calling me so? Call me when something is really happening.
yes, exactly. You're right. Call me when something is really happening. That's what our immune surveillance is saying to ourselves. If I'm stressing all the time, what's up, my God? If I'm stressing all the time, that's going to be the response. My body is going to sit there and say, yeah, I'm cool today. I don't even believe you. And just go back to sleep. And there's a real sickness not running through my body, but because I was playing with my immune system,
It paying attention.
They over here sleep on the job, like she said. They're sleeping, they're not paying attention. Yeah. I'm waiting on it.
But technically, shouldn't your body be on alert for stuff?
It
And
should,
you
like we
listen
said.
to it.
It did at the beginning. You gotta realize your body is going to tell you and tell you and tell you until it says, I'm tired.
You're telling me, physician, heal yourself.
Huh?
Yeah.
You're
that's
saying,
what I'm
physician,
saying.
heal yourself.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
That's-
I don't
that's
need to
all
go
about
to the
that.
doctor. I don't need to have medicine. I don't need any of that.
Mhm.
I just need to know myself. That's why I just said about the food journal.
And your cure is up here.
Yes.
Right.
I can't cure myself until I know I can cure myself.
Right.
Until I know that I possess the power to heal, then I won't heal. You see what I'm saying? If I don't, like you said yesterday, you said something about it must start within. If we don't start to change ourselves here, there's never going to be the display of change on my actual body. Until I change my mind about I have to work for someone else, to now I work for me. After the first day of this seminar, what happened, Pastor Head? 2 more seminars, the same style. Why? Because I made a decision. So it has to respond. Reality has to respond. So now, the second day, I get another seminar. Why? Because I'm coming in here and I'm saying out loud to all of you the same thing that changed my life into this life. Change your mind and it changes your reality. So a man thinketh, so he is.
There you go.
It's that simple. We don't take it serious. We don't take it serious enough in general. I'm not going to say everybody, but in general, we don't take our God power serious enough.
Right.
And I would add one thing to that. So as he thinketh in his heart.
Mm-hmm. You got to believe it. You got to believe it for sure. Because like we were saying about the affirmations yesterday, I can get up in the morning, I can look at myself and I say, I am a successful businessman. I am wealthy, I am wise. Until I really believe it though,
In your heart.
yes. To make the connection where now my whole body resonates. I'm a businessman. I walk different now. Because of my mindset. Do you see what I'm saying? How I carry myself is different now because I know who I am. And it's like, that's all we have to do. It's never too late to decide, man, I know who I am and I know what I'm going to do in my life.
Yep.
God gave me the time I can't see. So as much of that time as I can be on my spiritual path and be who I'm supposed to be, the more free life is. The more it's like
Easier.
carefree, concern free. Yes, life is so much easier when you're just being yourself.
I'm experiencing that.
Uh-huh.
Just live.
Yes, and just live.
Trust God.
No worries.
Yes,
I
definitely.
contested what he was saying. I was probably 100 pounds heavier. And he just one day was like, Mom, it's your mind. And first I was like, I gotta lose weight, I wanna lose weight. But my mindset had to change because I was like, I can't walk with that, I can't do that, I can't. He said, until you change your mind, you can't. And the first day I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And he made me walk or do something through the parking lot. And I did it and I was like, I don't know if I can keep doing it. He said, it doesn't matter, you've already done it. You've done it, you've already conquered what you're
Right.
keep telling yourself that you can't do. So you have to do it. And then when I went to the doctor and she said to me, she said, we're gonna see if your body will just continue naturally to do it again. I had been to the doctor. They told me, they said, I was on blood pressure medicine. They told me, they said, you're borderline diabetic. And I was like, what? Let me see the numbers, because what is it? And she was like, well, if you're a diabetic, it's 6 point, whatever, I'm just 6.8. She said, you're at a 6.2. I said, well, I'm not a diabetic. She said, but you're pre-diabetic, so we'll give you this medicine. I said, stay right there. I said, until I am that, let me try.
Yes.
I went back and
Yes.
ate right, did what I was supposed to do. She said, we're gonna keep seeing if your body will naturally heal itself and do what you're supposed to do. I haven't been to the doctor, I don't take any medicine.
Excellent.
Perfect. I'm so glad that she shared that.
Because you ask me all the time about sharing pictures, I'm like, I'm not ready yet. Wait till I get to where I need to be.
Oh, yeah. That's the testament there.
Mm.
You change your mind, you can change your life. But until you change your mind, you won't ever change your life. There's a lot of information left, but I'm gonna just skip to the grounding. I don't wanna
Don't leave us hanging.
I mean, I'm not gonna cliffhang you, you see what I'm saying? We got done with the systems.
Okay.
I can go quick over the what exercise does for heart disease, the brain, and stuff like that. But
Do the grounding.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I want to go to the grounding. Right. So grounding and the benefits.
Y'all gotta
of
get
it.
this.
Yeah, this is what we gotta get.
Y'all gotta get this.
Okay, grounding. So grounding, simply put, is me making skin to earth contact. What do I mean? I'm taking my socks and shoes off and I'm gonna stand in the grass. I could even sit in the grass, whatever I choose to do, okay? What's happening? We were talking earlier about inflammation. Inflammation coming from different foods we're eating, how we're treating our body, and the biggest one that causes most of the arthritis that we see, shoes, because we wear shoes all day, every day. Okay? Because I have this rubber sole in my shoe, number one, I can't connect to the earth, and number two, my body never gets full flexion. So it's like, my knee is not straight right now, but I feel like I'm standing straight up. Do you see what I'm saying? If I take my shoes off, you'll instantly feel the difference between how I was standing and how I stand when I take the shoes off. All right, that's number one about how my body, my joints and things get the inflammation are from the shoes, okay? When we start to connect back to the earth, all right, we're gonna talk about before we had all this stuff, before we had shoes, before we had a house, before we had, what were we connected to every single day? The earth. The earth, right? Let's talk about, I'm glad that we have some older generation people in here, because right now there's an abundance of medicines. Back when you guys were younger, there was an abundance of natural remedies. Do you see what I'm saying?
Mama.
How you know that?
Come on, man.
Okay.
There's an abundance of natural remedies. So, what happened? You see what I'm saying? Over time, the same way we lost our connection physically to the earth, we start to lose our spiritual connection to the earth. Okay? Because we're speaking holistic, I'm gonna break it down how I would if I was speaking at my church. Okay? In the very beginning, okay, God created everything from what?
Nothing.
Exactly, himself. Himself. So how can I get you to understand this? What's outside is the same thing that is right here.
Inside.
Yes. What's outside is the same thing that's inside. My physical body is made of the same thing as this, this, this,
Yes.
this. That's how I can eat anything and it turn into me, my physical body.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? But we got to take it simple from the beginning. God created all of these things. In the very beginning, where did he plant us?
In the
In
garden.
the garden.
In the garden.
That's right.
We didn't have any shoes on.
That's right. Didn't
How?
have nothing.
Number one. Yeah, right. All right. That's hilarious. They have nothing on, right? It's right.
We won't go there, Frank.
Right. They didn't have shoes on. They connected to the earth differently than we did. God was coming to them spiritually different than he was coming to us. Why? Because how I'm connected to the earth, how I'm connected to myself was different. Like we said, we're getting so far away from the natural way, how things really began. Do you see what I'm saying? I only ate fruits and vegetables.
Right.
I only ate fruits and vegetables. Do you see what I'm saying? Throughout time, throughout us going different places and being moved around, we start to adapt. Okay, we talked about this too with slavery, with us adopting this diet that we have, where we'll eat anything off of the pig. That's because at one point it was the only option.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So there was a day where the only option was fruits and vegetables. And our body was moving at the highest capacity that it's ever been. How do we know that? There was no illnesses. There were no illnesses. We're talking about in the very beginning. There's no illnesses. Do you see what I'm saying? Until what happened, okay? This is why this is super important to my mind. When Adam and Eve, when they sinned, God came down as a what?
Spoken word.
Voice. He came down as a voice. We talked about
Walking in the
yesterday.
garden.
Yes, they were walking in the garden. They
Now
can't.
God's voice was walking.
Yes, God's voice walking in the garden, and they're hiding in the garden. What starts to happen? Mindset change. I went from never feeling shame, guilt, any of these things. So now what is born at the same time? Illness, death. All these things are being born because I lowered my vibration. I lowered my ability to think about who I was. I never questioned, am I God? I knew it. They walked around and they knew they were God. I'm naming this, I'm naming this, I'm naming this. This is a chair. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
They knew they were God. It wasn't a question. Until I felt shame. Until I felt I did something wrong. These are all what? Mindsets. Created the rest of everything. Now, I can't get sick because of my mindset. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying all of that to say we have to connect back to nature. Okay, with the inflammation, we're going to talk about it. That's what's in my, you said, joints. You have gout. That's a form of arthritis. Yes, which is dealing with inflammation. Your prescription 7 days in a row. If you can make yourself go stand outside for 5 minutes, your toes not going to hurt anymore. Your toes not going to hurt anymore. You be intentional and set the time and say, this is what I'm going to do. And it's not going to hurt anymore. Start to eat better. It's not going to hurt anymore. Just taking one step at a time, you'll be healed. Because like I said, inflammation is the symptom.
Trying to cure, trying to heal.
Yes, of my body overworking something. Do you see what I'm saying? Inflammation is the symptom. Okay? The medicines that we're taking cure the symptoms,
Not the cause.
not the cause.
There you go.
Do you see what I'm saying? So me living how I'm living is what caused this illness.
There you go.
So me changing how I live will change the cause of what's going on in my body. I don't have to be sick. I don't have to take medicine. The medicine is the shortcut. Do you see what I'm saying? If I will commit to saying, I might be uncomfortable the first week that I stop taking this medicine. Cool. But then you can tell your grandkids that you can get off medicine and you never have to take it because you went through a week hard or a month hard. Do you see what I'm saying? So let's just say since I graduated, 7 years where I had to live going through so many spaces of figuring myself out until now, what? Just because I started taking 1 step and 2 steps and 3 steps and 4 steps, it's 365 days in a year. If I get better 1% every day, what did I
One
do?
step at a time.
There you go.
365% better than I was today. Just by me making the mental choice to say I'm gonna be better today, 1%. 1%, just walk up the hill.
My goodness.
1%. That's all I have to do. Once I start the journey, everything is already solved. Like we said, God is how. My why is all he wants me to figure out. Why am I doing what I'm doing? Your how is done. We sat down, we had a conversation that started this. First day, we have the seminar. I get 2 more seminars. The second day, I get another seminar. That's not in this state.
Right.
This is just off of my mind saying I can do it. And then when I get there, the how is done.
How's that?
We had 8 people the first day. The how is done. I can't call everybody in here out by your first name, but I appreciate you for being a part of this moment.
Amen. That's right.
Because it's so real. It's so huge. I'm getting emotional.
Good.
But God is so great. You just have to change your mind. And you can change your whole life.
Start taking our medicines.
Slowly but surely, yes. Don't just jump off of the medicine, but slowly but surely get off of the medicines. Okay? get off of the medicines. We're gonna go back to the ground before I start tearing up in here, man.
But can't you say that it's also difficult because it's a behavior that we've had for so long? To slowly but surely take that out. I mean, like, I don't have any bad habits, I say, except soda. But when I see that Pepsi down the aisle, I'll say, gosh, I don't want that soda, I don't want that Pepsi, but I'm gonna get a Pepsi.
So
You know what I mean? I mean, and so it's a learned behavior because when you grow up so disciplined, when you don't have much,
Yes.
and then you finally get certain things,
Yes.
it's very, very hard to fight some of those habits.
now, it sounds hard.
Ah.
Why? Because who said it was hard?
You did. Mine.
Oh, I'm saying it's hard.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So it's hard for you to go, for you specifically, to go down and not get the soda. But I learned about soda and I said, I'll never ingest a soda again.
Cause I'm going off of it for a couple of months and everything, then I see it down there,
And
and they're like calling my name,
Yes.
and then they're on sale, I'm like, oh,
Shut up.
you know,
And
I'm
then-
like,
Right.
you know, because other habits and stuff like that, I see people that smoke and drink, oh, I never do any of that.
Right.
But I'm still caught in my, and I think we all have
Yes, we
something.
all have bad habits. You see what I'm saying? So we just choose one. There's multiple bad habits that I had before I started this journey. But then I just chose one to battle first. Because what we got to do is take out time out of our mind. Take time out of your mind. It doesn't matter how long anything's going to take.
Doesn't matter.
When you take time out of your mind and just trust the process, it'll end up being shorter than you thought.
Yes, it will.
But as long as I'm always wondering how long, my body's doing the same thing. Remember, it's the mind-body connection that's making the biggest difference. The biggest difference for you. Because like you said, you just got to choose to not get the Pepsi. And where do I make all my choices?
Yeah.
Right, in my mind.
Quit that job. You quit that job. It's a mindset. Okay, we pushing it.
That's a good point about taking time out of your mind. Even with your faith, you gotta take the time out of that
Yes.
time out of your mind because you wanna have a time that God does you believing for, but take time out.
Right, like I talk to my family, this might sound crazy, but that's how my life has started to manifest so fast. Just like everything, we just made everything up, okay? We just made everything up. They're gonna tell me right now that it's 1:30, but then in a couple months they're gonna tell me it's 2:30. So take the time out of your mind, because somebody else they're trying to manipulate your mind with it. Do you see what I'm saying? If every day I'm worried about when something's gonna happen, I gotta be there at this time, I'm already stressing about things that aren't real. Do you see what I'm saying? How can you tell me today it's 1:30 and then in a matter of months, which is, you see what I'm saying?
Change.
So if man can really control it, it's how I view it is it's made up. Do you see what I'm saying? It's made up for us to be constructed and controlled by a certain way. Like I told on the first day, if I go to work for 8 hours a week, so I mean not 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, for 30 years, where is my life? Where is my mind? Where is my focus? Where is my energy? It's given to someone else. You see what I'm saying? It's given to someone else. So now that I know, it's like, man, I have to create the way that I can live without someone controlling my time. Because my time is my life. My time is my life. Let me finish this grounded. Like we said, reduces inflammation, okay? And today, if anybody would, we're gonna go to the other building, we're gonna walk down the steps and we're gonna do some grounding. You don't have to. I'm just opening the floor. Me and Pastor Head talked about it, that today after we get done in here, we're gonna walk over and we're gonna do some grounding. You'll be able to tell. Why do I know that? Because there's some steps in there, okay? So you might feel some aches and pains going down. Watch the difference when you come up them steps. Watch the difference when you come up the steps today. Next thing, it helps improve your sleep, okay? The earth is on a certain rhythm. Do you see what I'm saying? Why? Because the sun rises and the sun sets. It's in motion. Do you see what I'm saying? It's on a certain rhythm. When we connect back to the earth, our bodies start to connect back to that rhythm. So that's why I can sleep better. Do you see what I'm saying? I get improved sleep from the grounding. Reduces stress, okay? When I'm outside and I'm sitting and I'm thinking, well, let's just say it like this. Most of the time, when something crazy, bad, or any of those type of words, you get angry, what do? Boom, run, you get out. You get out of where you're at. Do you see what I'm saying? So that instantly is telling you, if you pay attention to your body, why is my body running outside? To reduce this stress. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of us go to certain places and we'll go sit and we'll be like, I just get peace right here. That's not an accident. That's not an accident. It's because the earth is always on the rhythm of God. Do you see what I'm saying? The earth is always going to do what God says to do. Who controls the rain? Who controls the sun? Who controls the moon? That's God. Do you see what I'm saying? There's other stuff that like we said, we can't control, my job, work, and all these things, but God is in control of the earth. That's why we have to get connected back to the earth. Back to the earth. Improved wound healing. All right. I wish my mom was in here for this one too. See, I got a cut on her foot. We went outside, grounded, right? Within 2 days, if you would have saw how smooth her foot looked, just from her having the cut, and it was a scab at the beginning, but her standing outside, she stayed out, I want to say maybe 10 minutes. It wasn't even that long. Because I don't want you to think that I'm saying stand outside for 30 minutes. As soon as your feet touch the ground, the process is already beginning. The process is already beginning. The longer that you let it work, the longer that it's going to work. Do you see what I'm saying? But as soon as you touch the ground, just like God, it's instant when he says yes. As soon as I touch the ground that God made, I instantly start to receive God's blessings. Do you see what I'm saying? What did he say? You have dominion over this earth. Do you see what I'm saying?
Over the earth.
Yes, over the earth. We're working together, me and the earth. Earth is like, you know what? I'm looking, this is what I mean by my perspective. When I'm out there and I'm grounding and I'm watering the community gardens that I was talking about, I know that the earth is saying, we're going to open some doors for you because you're taking care of us. Do you see what I'm saying? Take out the perspective of being myself and look at it as what God is trying to do. What is God trying to do? God is trying to heal our community. And if I said that I'll take on the task, what has been happening? Everything provided. Because do you see what I'm saying? Connecting back to the earth, saying, this is what I'm going to do. See it that big. See it that big. Don't take it as, like we said, if you pray to God for anything and you have doubt, your blessing's going to what? Slow down. And there's no time. Your blessing's just going to sit like this. Wow, you don't believe. It's going to sit, God right here, the blessing like this. Well, he's not going to release me till I believe. It could be the healing of a lifetime, sitting by God, and you're just sitting there like, I won't go put my feet in the grass. You can say something.
Yeah, can I give this to some?
Yes.
About the grounded?
You grandma, you can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, when we went, I think it was a week ago, we went to Virginia.
Yes, we were in Virginia.
For graduation. And was outside, I took my shoes off.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes
At the graduation.
I had my feet in the grass. But I didn't even really think about it, just, so we were climbing steps. After that, we were climbing steps, stairs, walking, doing a whole lot of different things that normally I
There we
couldn't
go.
do.
Thank you, God.
And then the first day, I climbed that hill, from my house to the church. I hadn't done that in 2 years. And it didn't bother me. So when my daughter-in-law asked, she said, do you want me to drive you up? I said, no, I don't. And I found myself, and I'm not in any pain, I'm not doing any of the things that I would have done, but I've done this. And from time to time, I'll go outside and stand.
Yeah.
Water my plants, I take off.
Perfect. The last thing that I'm going to talk about is it helps with what we were talking about with the exercising. my heart rate variability, because it gets rid of the inflammation and it helps my blood flow, my heart rate variability can change better. You see what I'm saying? The type of stuff that he was talking about, the guys meditating and them floating, like when you really connect with the earth, there's so many abilities that you have that you might not have ever known. Do you see what I'm saying? It could be sometimes where I'm sitting and I'll be grounding and I'll get an idea and I'll be like, where in the world did that just come from?
There you go.
But it's about me believing. I already know I'm going out there and I'm gonna heal. So now it's saying, okay, now it's time for me to reveal. Do you see what I'm saying? Some more to you. You can heal with this. Now what else can you do when you sit out here with me?
God Almighty.
I'm telling you. What else can you do when you sit out here with me? Get away from the distractions, the TV, the phone, just sit outside 10 minutes and see how my mind and my body feel in response. We just gotta be serious. Like today is the last day of this. But if today you don't implement something, how in the world will you tomorrow when you didn't hear me? Because your mind convinced you enough already to not do it today. So tomorrow when I don't see you, it's gonna be so much easier for your mind to say, well, no sir, there's no way you need to go do that. What? Be honest with yourself. Me, I try to work out every single day. If I don't work out, I don't beat myself up. Just continue to follow the plan. I missed it today. Now tomorrow. Because if I soak in it, then it's gonna be like, I'm behind one workout, now I'm behind 2 workouts and 3 workouts. Pace myself. Because there's no such thing as time holding my blessings, holding me in place, or any of that. I just move when I want to move, and everything's going to happen how it's supposed to happen because I know my why, and I know who I am. It's that simple. That simple. I'm going to go over some itises right quick so we can talk about what the grounding can do for you. Again, itis deals with inflammation of an organ, okay? Cystitis, okay? This is a urinary tract inflammation, okay? Bronchitis is the inflammation of the bronchi. This is just what connects my windpipes to my lungs, okay? My bronchitis. Arthritis, my joints, okay? Any joint pain that we have, arthritis. Next one is conjunctivitis, all right? This is for the eye membrane, the front eye membrane. Next one is gonna be dermatitis, all right, for the skin. These are different types of illnesses that are just due to inflammation of an organ. My skin is an organ, so I can have it inflamed. It'll be red, it'll be itchy, it'll be dry. You see what I'm saying? These things are happening just because of the inflammation, all right? Last one that I'm gonna talk about is encephalitis, and that's the inflammation of the brain, okay? Inflammation of the brain. Like I'm telling you, when you're overworking any muscle, any activity, it's going to eventually get weak and fail. So pace everything. I remember how strong I was when I played football when I was in college. And I think about me right now. Like if me and myself then, we had to do a workout together. There's no way. There's no way I could do the workouts with the self I was when I was playing college football. But that shouldn't deter me from progress every day. Do you see what I'm saying? Any of y'all in here, none of us will look like we were when we were 18. That doesn't mean I can't be healthy again. Do you see what I'm saying? It can't be I'm setting a goal that's impossible. Do you see what I'm saying? Actually, let me not even say that because everything is possible with God. Amen. So if you can get back to your high school weight, you can do it. You can do it. Yes, anything is possible. So the mindset is everything going into it. All right? Please raise your hand. Did anybody do the food journal? Anybody start the food journal? Please start it today. Please start it today. What you eat and how it's making your body respond. All right? What you eat and how your body's responding.
I did.
You did? Perfect, perfect.
They're the ones that ate those sandwiches yesterday. They did.
Oh yeah, I saw everybody eat a sandwich.
That's a requirement, right?
But yes, after we get done in here, we'll go to ground. Is there any questions? Any questions? Okay.
I don't have a question, but I have a statement. This is just for Zachary. I give God praise for
Amen.
what God has done for you.
Thank
He
you so
told
much.
me, I guess when he was a teenager, said, Nana or Susie. By the time I get 25, I'm
25 right now. What you got?
it's a be a businessman.
All right, all right.
Everything he has told me that he was gonna become, he has become, and I've watched him become what he said. And that's what the word teaches us.
There you go.
You can have what you say, if you
That's
pray
right.
to believe in your heart.
Not doubt it.
Doubt nothing in your mind. I mean, not doubt nothing in your heart. You can have what you say, and I've watched him have. what he said.
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Well, that's all the information that I have for you guys for the holistic health seminar. I appreciate everybody for coming out and supporting me, okay, through this and then everything else that I'm about to do next. I do want to talk about 3 things before we conclude. The first thing is this summer I'm doing an HBCU bus tour. So I have dates in June and July for kids 12 to 18. They do not have to be athletes. I do a lot with the personal training and sports, but it's not just for athletes. Anyone 12 to 18. We're gonna go to all 8 HBCUs that are in Georgia. Next thing I want to talk about is I have a book that's about to come out soon. And it's called Lessons Learned. It's kind of a daily devotional. So it'll have a quote, and then you can write to the quote what you feel, what it makes you feel, your response to it. Some have questions, but most of them are just short quotes that could get you to think. My first quote in the whole book is, "There are no shortcuts to maturity." So I learned that the hard way. You see what I'm saying? Trying to get to things too fast. So it taught me, okay, this is the life that you have when you move too fast. This is the life that you have when you trust God. So that's what I would write back to "There are no shortcuts to maturity," if you see what I'm saying on that one. And the last thing, if anybody wants to be a part of the factory, I am so ready to impact the community of Buford. What do I mean? We can schedule workouts together, meal plans, whatever way you guys wanted to do it. And then I also train younger kids as well for sports, football, basketball, and track. So just putting it all on the table so everybody knows who I am and what we got to offer. Thanks.
Zach, before we go out, I just sent you a cash app, a couple of dollars.
Thank you so much. But that's what I've been waiting for. That hat you got in your hand.
Here's your almost brand new Stetson.
Yes, sir.
We were eating dinner a couple of weeks ago, and he was just really admiring his hat. And I said, "Well, listen, I got a beautiful Stetson you can have." So I didn't go buy it, but it's one it has never been worn. It's been in the closet.
Right.
So here you are, and a little something there for you.
Yes, I
So-
did. This. I had it in the collection. Thank you.
Okay.
But yeah, now we're gonna go to the other side and we're gonna do some.
Let's go out the back door, and we'll go to the behind the Yes building. We're gonna go that way.